Thank you so much, and thank you to the Knesset caucus chairs, the U.S. Congress delegation, and chairs who are with us today. And what I want to do in the few minutes that I have is present our top 5 recommendations for 2024. Given what we've just heard, where we are, where we're at, where we're going, what should be done in Israel, in the United States this year, in order to continue the positive momentum and make the vision that our Executive Director, Ari Lightstone, into a reality. And I also want to acknowledge all of the people here who have been our partners over the last 3 years, have done such incredible work on the people-to-people and on the economic and on the sports and on the tourism level. There are incredible people in this room that have made a tremendous contribution to Abraham Accords ties. So thank you very much. And of course, the members of Knesset who are with us. Recommendation number 1. The future of regional cooperation and normalization is not only bilateral, it is multilateral. It is multilateral initiatives like the India, Middle East, Europe corridor connecting East and West with trade, with energy, with communications, forums like the I2U2, which brings India into the mix, possibilities for regional free trade, regional qualified industrial zones, the prosperity projects bringing together the United States, Israel, the UAE, and Jordan. Given the difficulties since October 7th and the negative public opinion in the region towards Israel, as reflected by all of the recent polls, working on regional multilateral projects may be a way for us to move forward with the ties that we all want to see. And of course, we can't wait for this to come about. There are a lot of things that Israel can do today, whether it's preparing its border crossings, whether it's improving infrastructure, overcoming all different kinds of regulatory, bureaucratic barriers that we have here in Israel that will make this vision a possibility down the road. Secondly, second recommendation, in order to maintain and accelerate the momentum of the Abraham Accords following the victory in the Israel-Hamas war, we are going to need the active participation and investment and commitment of our friends and allies and partners around the world. First and foremost, the United States, but our friends and allies in Europe, in Asia, and around the world. And even before October 7th, we saw that very often the most successful Abraham Accords partnerships were in entrepreneurs from Israel, the UAE, and the United States, youth from Israel, Bahrain, and Germany. So these 3-way, 4-way partnerships with our friends and our allies are going to be critical for maintaining and increasing the positive momentum following the Israel-Hamas war. The third recommendation goes towards countering the rhetoric of incitement of extremism in the region. Unfortunately, we have seen that even countries that are considered United States allies have been instrumental in promoting incitement to terror, such as Qatar, such as other countries. And it's necessary, if we want a future based on tolerance and dialogue in the region, not to look away when that happens, but to speak out against that. The fourth recommendation that I want to put, and this goes towards what my colleague David mentioned, is with regards to Sudan. As you all know, Sudan was a symbol of rejectionism. It was a symbol of the 3 no's of Khartoum: no peace with Israel, no normalization. Sudan took a very courageous move in ending its boycott and normalizing ties with Israel. Unfortunately, numerous Western countries have reduced their ties and support for Sudan over the last several years, which is one of the reasons for the very tragic civil war that we are currently seeing. Israel, with its Abraham Accords partners, with the United States, with other countries, can increase its partnership and investment with Sudan and ensure that Sudan remains within the circle of peace and stays outside the circle of terror. Of course, when we look at the Abraham Accords, in Israel, there's quite a lot of discourse about Saudi Arabia, and that's obviously a dream and a critical component of a future of peace. But we need to remember that there are numerous countries in Africa, in Southeast Asia, and other parts of the world where there may be opportunities in the coming months to advance cooperation, normalization, and integration. And we must always be looking for those opportunities and advancing the opportunity to increase ties wherever and whenever possible. And the last recommendation that I want to make is our determination in countering terror. I think that the eyes of the world, certainly the eyes of the region, are upon Israel, are upon the United States, are upon our allies today. Let's recall that Saudi Arabia and the UAE suffered from thousands of Houthi attacks, which killed their citizens and attacked their major cities and airports. Iran is a threat to all of the countries, and probably the primary threat to all of the countries in the region. If Israel, with its allies, with the United States, shows determination in defeating Hamas, in countering the threat from Iran and all its proxies in the region, the possibility and the potential for peace, for prosperity, for win-win economic, tourism, people-to-people, scientific, health cooperation that will benefit all the people of the region will continue to grow. So I want to thank you all again for being our partners, and we look forward to working with all of you in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asher.